Readers, I want to share some research with you. It turns out that kids who do very well in hard academic classes in high school and college often develop a few very important habits. One of those habits is that these kids do more outside of school. They read outside of school. They add to their background knowledge on their own. You're already doing that, reading reviews and reading other novels on your own. Well, there are two more habits that appear again and again when researchers interview kids who do very well academically. So, I want you to read through this list and think, what are some of these habits that I have already developed and what could I get better at? So, go ahead and pause the video and take a minute to do that. So, I want to think more about keeping thoughtful annotations and notebooks. So, the question that you want to ask is, how do readers use their notebooks in significant ways to deepen your engagement with a novel? So, let's think about that today. Today, I want to teach you that engaged readers and successful students take their notes and writing about reading seriously. Some days, a reader might take lean notes to capture what's happening in a story or quick thoughts. Other times, a reader might add to a process page, a page meant to capture thinking over time. Often, they reorganize their notes into synthesis pages. Let's take a look at some mentor notebook pages that readers have made when they've had some time to synthesize their thinking. As I show you these pages over the next few minutes, I want you to consider this inquiry question. How do readers use their notebooks in innovative ways? What are these readers doing? What do you notice about their notebook pages? Take a minute to pause and jot your thinking. So, you may have noticed that some of these readers created emotional timelines, or pressure maps, or thematic charts. That seems like an interesting way to develop new thinking. They are a kind of process page that let the reader add to his or her thinking over many pages and days of reading. Other readers used their notebook to capture quotes and then developed new thinking about them. And a lot of these readers are using a kind of infographic, sketch notebook approach to visually represent their thinking. Those look more like synthesis pages, where the reader was pulling together some fully formed thinking. Readers, these notebook pages aren't the kinds of notes you take when you are reading a text for the first time. They're not fast, on the run jottings. These notebook pages reflect a thinker who has moved on from fast jots and now is either working on process pages that lead the reader to think over many pages or over time, or synthesizing some serious thinking. And it seems that some thinkers use more visuals, and some use more words, and some like both. Mostly, I'm struck by how these students also care about this work. They're thinking about how they will share their thinking. You can see it in the ways they've innovated with images, annotations, and diagrams. I want you to pause and do some thinking work for a minute. What are these students doing on these notebook pages? What are you impressed by here? And take a moment to look over your jottings and your notes. Today, you'll have time to work on a new, more fully developed notebook page, one that helps you process thinking over many pages or synthesize your thinking so far. What might you do? What might you make that will be interesting to share? Readers, it's important that you have a plan when you go off to read today. This is such important work in any class. Students who learn how to go back into their notes develop a lot of higher level thinking. It's not that you need a beautiful entry every day. In fact, a lot of your jottings will be super lean and messy. What's important, though, is that you vary your writing about reading so that you sometimes use your notebook to develop deeper thinking and to extend and share that thinking. Your assignment today will be to turn in one or two of your notebook pages of this work that you're doing. For a lot of you, this might be the first time that you're doing this kind of advanced work. Don't worry about it being perfect. There is no perfect. Instead, think about trying something that extends your thinking and interests you. You might choose to use colored pencils, markers, post its, tape, scissors, glue sticks. And then I'm also going to share a notebook checklist with you. So, before you go off to read today, you'll want to take a look at the Reader's Notebook Assessment checklist and just make sure you understand what some of the expectations will be. I'll leave this on the screen as you go off and read today. So, as soon as you have a plan, go ahead and get started, readers. Off you go.